Hi and welcome to GRVOTV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. Now the Nikon D7100 has been eagerly awaited and now finally announced yesterday. So I obviously haven't got one yet. I don't think there are any available at the moment as far as I know. I've got the D7000 here and I'm just going to do my initial thoughts, quick comparison and a bit of a preview for you. Okay, so I'm going to start off by quickly going through the key features, the headline features if you like, that have changed from the D7000. The first one is the megapixel count has gone up from 16 to 24. It's still obviously a DX format and it's a CMOS sensor, but it's got the new X-Speed 3 image processor. The ISO sensitivity is 100 to 6400, extendable to 25,600. From what I've heard, it's probably about one stop better than the D7000. The physical size appears to be about the same. They've changed the design slightly, mostly with regards to the live view switch. It's moved from here down to here and it's a different switch. The screen's got a little bit bigger, slightly better resolution, which is all good. The viewfinder retains its 100% coverage, which is excellent, and the display in it has been updated with LED rather than LCD. The autofocus system is one of the most exciting points, and I can't wait to have a little go at it because it could work, it may not be any different, but it's gone from the 39 points in the D7000 to 51 with 15 cross types. So I think that's going to be good for lots of people. For me personally, it's not a deal breaker because I tend to 90% of the time I use the center point. 5% of the time I'm manually focusing. So for 5% of the time I will use it chooses its own sort of system. So yeah, it's a good thing, but it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. 6 frames per second continuous shooting, which is the same as what you've got on the D7000, which sounds like that, which is plenty fast enough for your average amateur or sort of budding pro photographer, so no problems with that. It's got this 1.3 crop function, which I think is a bit of a gimmick, to be honest. Yeah, it's going to make your lenses seem longer, but at the end of the day all it's doing is cropping the image, which we can all do in post-production anyway, or you can do it on the camera afterwards anyway, so I can't really see the point of that particularly. It's certainly not a selling point for me. The movie mode's been expanded a little bit. You got your interlaced movie modes as well as your 30, 25 and 24p, all obviously at 1080. It's got, obviously on the D7000 we've only got a mic input, but on the 7100 there's a mic input and a headphone jack, which is a nice feature to have. Again, for me it's not a deal breaker because I do all my sound through the Zoom H1 now, as you can see here. Isn't he lovely? It's like a little troll doll. Lovely. So yeah, the headphone socket and the mic socket, to me, you're going to get crappy sound from the stereo mics on it anyway, because you're going to pick up all the noise of the camera, like all the mechanical noises. I've been through all that in my previous videos, and I've settled on off-camera separate sound and sync it afterwards, which seems to work the best for me. But it's nice to have that feature. Dual card slots, the same as the D7000. The button layout is very similar. They've changed a couple of buttons. They've got an info button where the quality button is on this, so they've jiggled them around, but it's basically the same. So it's going to have that still nice sort of semi-pro feel of the D7000 and the fully featured button function system, so you're not using the menu all the time. So another great feature. It's got a HDR mode which combines a couple of photos in camera, which the D7000 doesn't have. Nice for people if you want to do HDR in camera. It's it can still be done on the D7000, but you're going to have to use bracketing and do it in post. Not something that I ever do, to be honest, but again, another one of those things that's nice to have. One of the top features they're saying is the low pass filter has been removed from in front of the sensor. So you have your sensor, there's basically another piece of glass in front of it, which all the lighting information has to go through. So they've removed that, and the idea of that, from what I know, is that it reduces the effect of moire. But what they've said with the D7100 is that even with it removed, it's really not a major issue. I don't know, we're going to have to wait and see on that one. They say it's going to make your images slightly sharper, more contrasty, better dynamic range, etc. So I don't know. I've got pictures from my D7000, and if you look on Flickr, you'll see loads of pictures which are absolutely razor sharp. So I can't see that that's a massive deal breaker for me, unless you're printing huge poster-sized pictures. I guess you might see a bit of a difference there. So in essence, what they've done is they've retained the D7000 look and feel. They've just pepped it up a little bit, and it's a nice progression. Is it enough for me to change my D7000 for that money? What's going to be an extra 500 or 600 quid? Absolutely not. There's no way would I go from the D7000 to the D7100. There's nothing there that I look at and think, yeah, I definitely want that and I've got to have it. There's absolutely not. If I was going to jump ship, I would go probably to the D600 if anything. But again, I like the DX crop format, and it suits my style. I've got my lenses all sort of as I want them. So yeah, there's certainly no reason for me to upgrade for that price. However, what I do think this is going to do is it's going to push down the price of the D7000 even more, and what that's going to do is become an absolute steal, because you can pick these up for a good price now, second hand even better price if you want to take a risk on a second hand one. But when you look at the price of a new D7000 body compared to the 7100, you're going to be able to get yourself a really nice lens or a couple of lenses for that extra money, and I think that makes the D7000 a fantastic buy. For me, it's all the camera I ever need at the moment. I've got no real issues with it. I could pull out a couple of things if I'm being really picky, in that when I grab it out of the camera bag sometimes, especially when it's sitting in the think tank, as I go to grab it out, I open the card slot door. So I would have liked to have seen a lock on the door. There's what else could I say is I can't think of anything else that I don't like about it. A flip out screen would be nice, on a higher end body, a flip out screen, but then that's going to muck up the button layout, like it did on the D5100. But I do prefer, for videoing, obviously a flip out screen, but again, I'm using my D5100. I've got no problems with that at all. So yeah, the video mode apparently is going to be a little bit better, more manual controls. When I get hold of the camera, I'll be able to tell you more about that, and certainly about the 51-point autofocus system, which in theory sounds really good. In practice, again, I don't think it's a deal breaker for me. So there you go, that's my initial thoughts on the D7100. Me personally, I just think it's going to kick down the price of the D7000 and make that an even better deal. So those are my initial thoughts. I'm going to do a little video shortly on the think tank bag that I've just got. So that's coming up soon, so watch out for that. And also I've done an initial sort of touchy-feely preview of the Fuji X100, as the price has come down on that due to the X100S coming out. So I've had a quick look at the X100, so I've got a review of that coming up as well. Just a quick note on what I'm using. Videoing with the D5100, got two LED video lights on there. I've got a 500 watt light over there, and the sound is from the Zoom H1. This has been GRVOTV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye.